Alright.
Alright.
Good luck, guys.
Catch y'all later.
Okay.
Alright, good race. Good luck, guys. Good race.
Alright, and they're off.
Yeah, I know very little about Dragon Warrior 2, so I'm depending on you to do most of the talking here.
Alright. I haven't seen this randomizer much since the world map randomization was put in, but I'm kind of familiar with the base game at least.
Yeah. I know that this game is a direct sequel to Dragon Warrior 1, right?
Yeah.
It's notoriously difficult.
Yeah. Believe that this randomizer puts a little of the difficulty changes in too, like the Dragon Warrior 1 randomizer, so some monsters give more experience and stuff. Oh, and right away you can see that, so one thing this randomizer does is it can shuffle the strength of equipment, and the prices of them will also be affected by that. Not sure exactly what their flag set is for this one, but it probably includes that. Oh yeah, Game Boy is equipped with a light sword and armor of Gaia, so
That
they're
sounds like
probably
good equipment.
better than normal. Yeah. I believe that the equipment keeps the same resistance that it has in the original game, though. So if you were to find Erdrick's armor, like if it were giving only one defense point, it might still be worth equipping because it would give you resistance to breath and spells and stuff.
Okay, estimate 240. Just updating the info here. I think that this makes Game Boy the first runner to be running his own randomizer
That's interesting.
in this marathon. There are certainly runners that do play their own randomizers. Most notably, Dick Shake will be running his own randomizer later today. When we get to Zelda 2. Oh yeah, I gotta start the timer again. Is there a way to... Oh my goodness. Sorry. Sorry about the timer, you guys. Just add a minute or two to it. It'll give us a general idea anyway. They're gonna be going for a couple hours, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way this world map generation works is it is still split into a few segments. So, like, they're gonna have to find the Prince of Cannock, basically, and then there'll be a tunnel or a traveler's gate they have to go through to get to the area where the Princess of Moonbrook is, and the ship and all that. And then once they get the ship, it'll open up a little more. As you can see, they've got some really strange equipment, and it can have completely random values, so it's kind of hard to tell what exactly they have equipped and how good it is.
I'm just updating the commands here.
I believe they're in the Spring of Bravery right now, which is a trigger that you have to hit before you can get the Prince of Cannock. I know Game Boy talked to the old man, but it looks like Miaut died before getting there. I believe all you have to do is talk to that old guy and then go to the town that he's in. I'm really bad with names in this game. I think it's Leftwin, unless that's the town with the princess.
Maguru is being modest. He's pretty good at his randomizer. Maybe not one of the very best, but he's in the top 10.
You can also see Game Boys trying out every piece of equipment, just using it as an item in battle, because items can have random effects on them in the Dragon Warrior 2 and I believe Dragon Warrior 3 randomizers. So there's a chance he could find an item like that, say, heals him, like the Shield of Strength. And I believe the effect can also be randomized for what it can target. So it could be the Shield of Strength heal more effect that targets everyone in the party. That'd be a really nice item to find in this randomizer. But you do have to figure it out through trial and error. Game Boy's talking to the King of Cannock. I don't think you need to talk to him for the triggers to make the Prince of Cannock spawn, so he might have just been playing the game, or saving the game. So you can buy the Echoing Flute in Cannock's item shop. That's not too bad of an item to find, because what it does is you'll play it in a dungeon, and if you hear it echo back, then that means there's a seal in the dungeon. Bamboo Stick just sold for 7,500 gold.
Yeah, that was something I noticed there, which seemed a little off to me,
Yeah.
even knowing nothing about the game.
So again, the items are, like, they can have random values associated with them, so that Bamboo Stick was probably a very strong weapon, just he couldn't equip it, but it'll still sell for 7,600 gold because it's strong.
Yeah, I don't think he actually sold it though. Didn't he say, "Oh, that's too
yeah.
bad"?
Yeah, so he probably decided to keep it and see if someone else can use it later.
Okay.
It's guaranteed that somebody could equip it, just it's not the Prince of Maidenhall.
Yeah. How long is it before you get people to join your party in this game?
He should get Cannock pretty soon. Not actually sure why he's back in this cave. Maybe he didn't talk to the old guy, maybe he died in here, but I saw him approaching him earlier. All you have to do is talk to this old man in the spring here and then go to the town. Like the first area will have 2 castles and a town, and the prince is hanging out in the town. Like, basically you talk to the King of Cannock and he says, "Oh, my son wants to join you, but he's off at the Spring of Bravery." So you go over there and you find out you've already missed him, so you go back to the starting castle and find out that he's not there yet. So you go to the town that's halfway point between the starting point and Cannock, and the Prince of Cannock's hanging there. Looks like Miaut found him. But the ultimate goal of this game is kind of similar to how you needed to find 3 key items in Dragon Warrior 1. You need to find the 5 crests in Dragon Warrior 2. I'm not sure if they can spawn before the ship or not in the randomizer, but once you get the ship, that's definitely what you're looking for, is all 5 of those crests. And then you'll get this, you'll get the Rubus Charm, which lets you get into the final dungeon and finish the game. There are quite a few key items in this one, though, especially compared to Dragon Warrior 1. Oh, is that all that it randomizes? Ooh, it looks like the Armor of Erdrick has a pretty high value associated with it. That means that it's gonna give a lot of defense power. And like I said, I don't think that the resistances on it are randomized, so it's gonna be really good for anyone who can equip it. Looks like he bought Close Hiding too. I believe that's this game's Cloak of Evasion, so it'll give you a lot of chance to dodge a physical attack. though it was pretty cheap, so it's not going to give any actual defense power, but it's still good that you'll be taking 0 damage from some of the hits. Game Boy actually just found the life crest in whatever cave he's in right now. It's probably the cave that usually has the silver key in it, but I guess that means that you can find crests before getting the ship. I saw that Miaut bought a Shield of Strength for 7 gold, so it's probably only giving 1 defense power if you can equip it. He probably just bought it to try it out in battle, because like I said, there's a couple of, like, potentially any weapon or armor could have an effect on it that you use it in battle and it's really strong, either doing a lot of damage to a lot of enemies or even healing you for a lot of HP. Every spell has its target randomized, so it could either target one thing or target the entire, just a group of enemies, or targeting every enemy. And that includes all the normal healing magic.
Yeah, I've not played one of Game Boy's randomizers before. He's actually created 4 randomizers now: Dragon Warrior 2, 3, and 4, and Final Fantasy 1 for PlayStation Portable.
Yeah.
But I know he has a little bit of a different approach when it comes to the things that he randomizes versus some of the other randomizer creators. You can definitely tell when you're playing a randomizer a lot of like what the creator values in creating a randomizer. You know, of course they will use outside suggestions and stuff when they're creating their randomizers, but there are definitely certain things that the creators individually will look to randomize.
I know, when I'm picking a flag set, I often pick different flags that other people would pick, so I really like when randomizers have detailed flags that you can turn on and off. It looks like Miaut also found the life crest. Making a randomizer, I imagine, involves a lot of looking at memory addresses and stuff. I was actually thinking the other day about making a randomizer for something, but that's going to require a lot of research. I'd like to see one, though, for one or both of the Game Boy Dragon Warrior Monsters games.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun to play through.
You have to know how to look at a ROM. You have to know, at minimum, 1 programming language. But really, the more programming languages you know, the more it's going to help you. Like knowing how to read the assembly code for the ROM. If you're doing a NES game, for example, that's extremely helpful.
And I'm pretty bad at it, looking at assembly code.
Right, yeah.
Oh, Miaut also found the water crest. Game Boy might have found it too, because he's in the same cave. They're both in the cave that normally holds the silver key. It's worth noting that the keys in this game are not tiered, so if you have a silver key, it only opens silver doors. Like when you get the golden key, it does not open silver doors. So it's not like you can buy 1 key and open everything. So there is an open spell.
The water crest is for making a sandwich, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah, so they've already got at least 2 of the 5 crests. I don't know if all 5 of them are randomized or not. Last time I checked, there were a couple that were not randomized. My Game Boy's got the golden key, so he can check this chest in Cannot Castle, which usually has the Shield of Erdrick.
Man,
Just had it.
Miaut seems to be in rough shape there. He's got 1
yeah.
HP left for 1 character.
Yeah, and it's Maidenhall, who doesn't learn spells, so unless he has herbs, he doesn't have any way to heal, even if he levels up.
Yeah. Go.
Hopefully he's got all the chests in here, but I think he's got the important ones.
How cold is a cod exactly?
Not actually sure. Must be pretty cold though if you can identify it. Iron Ants had exploded, I think is what I saw.
Do you think he has a coldness scale? And yeah, you know, maybe you can be cold as a tuna or as just like a carp or something.
Yeah, it's hard to say if he's got, like if he goes around just testing corpses to see how warm or cold they are all day. Maybe if you're cold as a cod, you can be revived, but there's another coldness where you can't be.
Yeah.
One of the engine improvements that they added to Dragon Warrior 4, which is unfortunately not in this one, is that when you're in the equip menu in 4, if you hover over an item, it'll tell you how much attack power it's going to give. But in this one, you have to actually try to equip it before you know even whether or not you can equip it. So the process of trying out every piece of equipment can be kind of slow.
Game Boy got a mysterious hat. Is that any good? It sounds fun.
Forget what that does in this one. I know there's like a hat of happiness in 4 that gives you magic as you walk, so it might reduce your magic costs. I don't think this game had one where you could gain experience by walking. I think that's one of the items that's just a rare drop in the late game. Now he's trying out who can use it.
So, Miaut's picking up his third party member here? I take it that's how many you must finish the game
Yeah.
with, right?
Yeah, there's 2 party members in this one, or 3 total. You recruit the Prince of Cannock and the Princess of Moonbrook. Generally, the Prince of Maidenhall is just like a high physical attacker. He gets pretty high stats, but he doesn't cast any spells. The Princess of Moonbrook is more of a mage. She learns the strongest attack and healing magic, and Cannock is kind of a middle-of-the-road character who does both things, but he's really not good at either one. People make a lot of jokes about him who have played this game, because he really just isn't that useful. But since he's still a third of your party, you still find uses for him.
So
But he can't equip much equipment, and his stats are pretty low.
is the princess the most important one?
In the main game, I'd say, yeah, the Prince of Maidenhall and the Princess are about equally useful. But like in the speedrun of the base game, if the Prince of Cannock dies, you still try to fight the final boss. He's pretty much useful just for soaking hits and maybe using the light sword to lower the accuracy on the final phase. But if you grind him up enough, he does actually learn the revive spell, which is, I don't think the princess learns it. Maybe she does at a really high level. Though in this game it's not quite as useful because it only gives you 1 HP. There are definitely a lot of really big quality of life improvements between this game and Dragon Warrior 3. I didn't actually see where they pick up the Mirror of Ra, but to get the Princess of Moonbrook, she's actually hanging out in this town that Game Boy's in, and like she's been cursed and turned into a dog, and you have to use the Mirror of Ra on her to reveal her true form.
Yeah.
And normally it's hidden in a swamp over in the corner of the map, but they seem to have already found it.
Do you use the Mirror of Ra again to fight a boss, or is that just in like Dragon Warrior 3?
It disappears after you use it.
Oh, okay.
But in Dragon Warrior 3, you do use it on a boss to reveal him. It also exists in Dragon Warrior 4, but it's a basically useless item. You can get it out of the casino, and all it does is remove the transform effect from the imposters at the end of the game. Definitely not worth getting.
Is that helpful to remove that effect?
Not really, no. They're pretty easy to kill. They're basically enemies that show up and then they cast transform on your party members, and it's kind of cute because they take the sprite of your character, so you're fighting this giant pixel enemy that looks like your character. So one of the people they can transform into is pretty scary because one of your characters has defeat, and if they transform into him, then he can cast it and wipe out your whole party. Oh yeah, they're saying that the Princess of Moonbrook started out equipped with the Sword of Destruction, which is annoying because that's a cursed weapon.
Oh.
swamp is actually right next to the town. I don't know if that's forced to have the Mirror of Ra in it, or if it just has a random item in it.
What does being cursed prevent you from doing in this game?
I think it just stops you from taking action sometimes. I don't know what the chance is, but I think you just freeze up in battle. I know in later games there are multiple types of curses, but I think that's all it does in Dragon Warrior 2.
How do you get rid of the curse?
You talk to the priest and there's a charge for it. I think it might be the same as Revival. I'm not sure what the formula is though. I know Revival in this game costs 20 gold for every level of the character. It's really rough early on. Like in later games, your Revival fee it raises exponentially. It's like your level squared, rounded up to the nearest 10. But by the time it gets more expensive than it is in this game, you can just cast a spell to revive somebody. The one thing in this randomizer is that when you get wiped, your whole party is revived, not just the lead character. So that saves you from having to revive them as much. That curse is going to be really annoying. It looks like Miaut didn't remove it. So either it costs too much, or I don't know, maybe he wanted to keep it. But if he wants to try equipping a piece of armor, for instance, he has to go through that message that says the Sword of Destruction is cursed and it can't be removed. I would probably remove the curse just for that reason. It looks like she only has 26 attack power, so it's not giving him too much. Let's see, Miaut also has the Eye of Malroth, it looks like, which is another item you need to get into a later dungeon.
This menu seems a bit cumbersome.
Yeah. You're also kind of limited on how many items you can hold. I think each character can hold 8 items, but there are so many key items in this game that your inventory gets really clouded. Though you can throw away a key item and then it'll respawn in the place it was earlier, because this game is pretty limited on what it saves when you save the game. Same with Dragon Warrior 1, like we were talking about how chests don't stay open when you reset the game, or even when you just leave an area and come back.
Yeah, in Dragon Warrior 1 you can sell the Urbix armor or the Urbix sword for
Yeah.
1 gold, and then you can go and pick them up again.
Yeah, because the game just checks if you have it, then it won't spawn the chest. And this game does exactly the same thing. So you can even throw away the golden key or the silver key or whatever, and it'll be back where you found it. And there are some keys that you don't use too much. Like the silver key, there's really only one use for it, which is right here. Like in the speedrun, you pick it up only to get in through the door that you see on Miaut's screen. And that's because there's an enemy down there that you can fight that always drops a Staff of Thunder. And if you sell it and then it sells for a ton of money, then you can save and reset the game and he'll respawn down there again. I have never beaten this game without doing that. Looks like Miaut might be farming this treasury, actually.
Maybe he's done now? Not sure. Is there only one place you can return to in this game?
Yeah, it always returns to the last place you saved.
Oh, okay. Huh. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I always found it interesting that even in the remakes they didn't upgrade it. Unless like the mobile port does, but I know the Super Famicom and the Game Boy versions of this game, they both have the same return system. Kinda adds an interesting aspect to routing a speedrun though, because you want to make sure you're saved in the central spot where you return there and then everything's close.
So does the princess get revive spells then?
I think she might eventually learn it. I know Cannock learns it first.
Okay.
But the spells are randomized in the randomizer, so it's hard to say what each one of them will learn.
Okay.
believe there's actually an open spell in the game which will open any locked door, and if they learn that, that would be pretty helpful. So you don't have to carry around 3 different keys to open every door.
Huh. I didn't see Miaut get uncursed there, and it certainly looks like he could have, so I'm a little...
Yeah, I'm wondering what it costs to remove it. If it were the same as Revival, he'd be able to afford it, but maybe that's not what it's based on and I'm wrong.
I'm not quite sure. Let's look at the command here and see what's randomized again.
Game Boy seems to be farming gold on the Fire Shrine. So that tile that he was standing on is normally where one of the 5 crests are, but it looks like if there's gold there, then you can just search it repeatedly and keep getting gold. Huh, McGrew says that return takes you to the last time you talk to a person who can save your game. That's interesting. But neither of them have the ship yet, so I think what they're looking for is the Cloak of Wind, because there would be like 2 towers and they're separated by a river, and if you're equipped with the Cloak of Wind you can jump off of it and cross the river. I'm not sure if the randomizer removes that or not.
I don't recall. I know that Game Boy has gone through a lot of iterations and upgrades to his randomized maps, and he may have removed that at some point. It's something that I feel like he's talked about, but I don't know for sure if that's in or not.
But if they weren't looking for that, then I think they should have access to the town that has the ship in it, so they would have the ship, so that's why I'm thinking the towers are still there. But I've only played like 1 seed of the randomized world maps. I'm not completely familiar with the randomizer. A lot of weak stuff at Osterfair's weapon shop. So Game Boy went through a Traveler's Gate to get to Osterfair, so he could be pretty much anywhere now.
Miaut's in the jail cave.
Yeah. And there's normally a crest in here that you have to fight a boss fight for. Oh, he got the open spell. Okay. So they don't need to keep around all those keys if their inventory gets full. This is not a good encounter. He is probably going to die to this, depending on what that Bullwong knows. The Bullwong is a very late game enemy though. And he's running from it. Even though it's a boss fight, he can run away from it.
Is that the case with all boss fights, or just that one?
Not sure. If you can run from the bosses, I'm sure it puts you a step away from, like, the late game bosses, kind of like in Dragon Warrior 1, where you can run away from the Axe Knight, but it puts you a tile away from him.
Yeah.
So you can't just walk past him.
I think you can run away from Dragon Lord 1, maybe? Not sure.
I know for sure in Dragon Warrior 3 and onward you can't run from bosses, but I'm not quite sure about this one. In fact, in the Famicom version of Dragon Warrior 4, there's a glitch where if you try to run from a boss 8 times, then you'll start getting critical hits for the rest of the fight. It's pretty funny. That's banned in normal Famicom speedruns, but there's a category that doesn't, or that allows every glitch. And I've run that a couple of times, and I like to not explain that glitch until I get to the final fight where you actually use it. Just show up to the fight and start running away from the boss without saying what you're doing, and then just start destroying him. Yeah, since Game Boy used there is another line in this one, kind of like how in Dragon Warrior 1 Randomizer, where Charlock only has tough enemies in it. Before you get to the ship in this randomizer, the enemies can only be a certain strength. But since Game Boy jumped ahead to Osterfair through that Traveler's Gate, he was having to go up against virtually any enemy in the game. I saw him run into a giant earlier, and he got wiped to Goobles. Those are all pretty late enemies. Not really sure why they're doing that instead of looking for the ship. I don't think you would have to go through a Traveler's Gate to get to it. Of course, their Game Boy wiped a big slug, so maybe it's not much more dangerous at Osterfair. Something I didn't know about this game until I saw someone do it in a speedrun is that you don't have to actually be looking at a door, same as Dragon Warrior 1, to open it. You just have to be standing next to it. It's one of those things that doesn't really matter, but if you've been playing the game for like 20 years and you see someone do it, it just blows your mind. Oh, Game Boy found the town with a ship in it. So there's going to be a boss fight to get to the ship, but that's pretty much all he has to do is beat it. Stats are pretty high, so I don't know what the parameters are in the boss fight, but he probably won't have trouble with it. Basically, there's this girl over here getting attacked by monsters, and if you save her, then her grandfather gives you a boat. Which I guess seems like an okay trade. There's the Sword of Erdrick for 200 gold.
Magic
I guess it's not
baboons,
very strong.
So is this fight always magic baboons here?
No, it's usually 2 gremlins. Which are a pretty decent fight for at that point. The magic baboons aren't too much tougher.
Yeah, the Game Boy didn't seem to have too much issue at all there.
Oh yeah, he's got pretty good stats for this. They're a much weaker enemy than that enemy that Miaut ran into by the water crest.
Alright, so I imagine this opens the game up a lot for Game Boy.
Yeah. Honestly, it was still pretty open since they had found that fire shrine with 3 Traveler's Gates in it. There were a lot of places they could get to, but now he can get everywhere, other than the final area.
I enjoy seeing the sprites from other Dragon Warrior games, either from Dragon Warrior 1 or that I recognize from later games.
Yeah, those green dragons are in Dragon Warrior 3 as well. But then for 4, they finally changed the sprite. Oh, Miaut is actually in the Cave to Roan, which is the final cave of the game that leads to the final castle. There's a lot of treasure chests in here.
Yeah, isn't this notoriously difficult, especially?
Yeah. And it's just a very long cave, and it also has some of the toughest enemies in the game in it. So like the randomizer is actually going to work in your favor here and possibly show you weaker enemies. Not sure how many chests are in here exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's more than 10. It's a very long cave.
So do you think Miaut might just be coming in here to die for treasure chests?
Yeah, pretty much. Because he's going to need to get the other 3 crests before he can get to the end of the game. But this could take him to the final area if he gets through it. I'm just not sure how convenient it would be to save there.
I like this, Blizzards and Flames being in the same battle. That looks like fun.
Yeah. Oh, he found the silver key. That's not very useful. If he didn't have return, or if he didn't have the open spell, maybe. Yeah, it is worth noting that at this point in the game, you can find bosses as random encounters. Anything other than Hargon or Malroth is fair game. There he just ran into Atlas. There are 3 mini-bosses you have to fight at the end of the game before you get to Hargon, so it's basically a 5-enemy boss rush. And 3 of them can show up as random encounters. Which they think they will have random abilities, but especially Atlas has extremely high attack power, so he's going to be really dangerous. The worst is when you find Atlas and he's got like the ability to use a Leaf of the World tree and revive somebody. Or I guess the revive spell is what they have in this one.
So, Game Boy's got a significant lead on levels here, and he's got the ship. Is there some advantage that Miaut has?
I don't think so. Game Boy also just got a crest for that boss fight, and I think that one's not randomized. Let me think what the crests are real fast. They have life and I think water, and Game Boy just got the moon crest. So the fire crest I know is randomized because it wasn't there, but the star crest might still be in the dungeon that it normally belongs in, which is a tower. Oh yeah, the ability in this game to they can do the odd dance that lowers your magic, and I guess that's based on the enemy's attack power, so I guess if Atlas uses that, he'll completely wipe out your MP. Huh, Miaut just threw away the echoing flute. I wonder if he has another one, or if he... I don't know.
What do you need that for again?
It tells you where the crests are. If you play it in a dungeon and there's a crest in there, then it'll make a different noise. And I think there's text as well. The same item shows up in Dragon Warrior 3. It'll tell you if there's an orb in the dungeon. It's very useful in the randomizer because it's pretty much all you're looking for at this point. I'd like to see Miaut's status menu to see what crests he has, because if he has the other one that's randomized, then that might be why he threw it away. Something that's really annoying about randomized spells that you kind of run into in Dragon Warrior 1 is not finding the outside spell. That's really obnoxious in the Dragon Warrior 4 randomizer right now. So many caves and towers to look for in Chapter 5 that it's really helpful if you can just get out of them instantly, not have to walk around for 10 minutes. Looks like Game Boy found the world tree. I kind of like how he flags the special tiles in the world map. He just surrounds them with water. Mink coat. So in Dragon Warriors 2 through 4, there's a tree on the overworld that if you search it, you'll get a item that will revive a party member. But what's there is randomized in this randomizer, so apparently it's a mink coat tree now. So as long as he doesn't have a mink coat in his inventory, he can search the tree and pick it up. And if it's a gold, like Game Boy did this earlier on another searchable tile, if it's gold, then you can always search it. I saw him farming the tile in the fire shrine earlier. Game Boy is definitely a lot better than me at tracking down things like these speed hacks that he puts in. I'm really not good at looking at assembly code.
Yeah, Game Boy definitely seems to have a knack for it. Because not only did Game Boy make speed hacks for Dragon Warrior 1 and the randomizers that he's made, but he made a lot of the speed hacks for the Final Fantasy 1 randomizer for NES
Oh.
that Introper implemented.
I believe that Game Boy is in the lighthouse that contains the Star Crest. Or is this a different tower? I don't know. Dragon Warrior 2 actually has a lot of towers in it. It's either the Moon Fragment Tower or the Star Crest Tower, though. Oh, Miaut found a really nasty encounter. Those giants and silver baboons are both from the final area of the game.
Yeah, does this have a feel like Dragon Warrior Randomizer a lot of times where you're running into fun police and areas where...
Especially once you get the ship.
Yeah.
Because before you get the ship, all the enemies are up to a certain strength, but then once you get the ship, it all opens up and you can even find bosses in the wild. I think at this point Game Boy has a pretty significant lead because he's got the ship and he's got one crest more. But there is still one crest that's randomized. And Game Boy is still looking for it.
Yeah. From what you're telling me, what it sounds like to me is that Miaut's taking more chances here that aren't really paying off for him.
Yeah.
Are there items that Game Boy could, or that like Miaut could find that could help him to give him a bit of an advantage?
I don't know, not really, because they both have the Eye of Malroth already, which is an item you need to open up the final cave, which is the cave that Miaut is in right now.
Yeah, but like weapons or armor, perhaps?
Maybe, but like, since all the equipment is randomized, that really, like, any piece of equipment could be good or bad. So if you had a couple of good pieces of equipment, you don't necessarily need the best ones. Just anything that's good. Looks like that mink coat actually sells for 6,000 gold. That could be a good way to farm, would be to sell that, then go back to the world tree and pick up another one and repeat. Might be what Game Boy's doing, because he thought about not selling it, as if he was going to try equipping it on somebody. But then he decided to sell it. Oh, he's buying a golden card, which is an item that gives you a discount when you buy stuff in shops. I believe it's 10%. It's usually not really worth picking up, because in the normal game you get it by winning the lottery, which is really rare. Like, you get these lottery tickets for buying stuff in the item shop, and then you can do this little lottery mini game where these reels spin, and they're the 5 symbols of the crests, and if you line up 3 of a kind, then you get a prize. And I think if you sell the gold card, it sells for like 15,000 gold, so you're probably not going to get more money than that from your 10% discount. Oh, he's finally removing the curse from Moonbrook. Miaut is. I definitely would have done that a long time ago, because, like I said, it would slow down your testing of seeing if she can equip things or not. The merchant's appraisal feature in Dragon Warrior 3 and 4 randomizer is actually really nice because you don't have to pass around as much equipment seeing who can use it. It can really feel like a waste of time if you pick up a piece of equipment and have to try it on 3 people.
Yeah, maybe maybe Game Boy can implement something like that in this game at some point.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Just anything at all that quickly tells you if someone can equip it. Something that trips me up all the time is that when you go to the spell menu in this game, it doesn't have the Prince of Maidenhall there. It just only has the 2 spellcasters as options. So I always tell myself I want to cast a spell with Cannock, he's the second person in the list. So I hit spell and go down and it goes to Moonbrook's list. I just saw Miaut do that. Looks like Miaut is in Osterfair now. One of the crests is in here. I don't know if he's picked it up or not. Let's check in these treasure chests. I've seen a lot of shops where you can buy that gold card. I'm wondering if there's a scaler on the randomizer that scales down item costs, because I see that like wizard rings and Leaf of the World trees all have 6s in their values. Like a Leaf of the World tree cost 1,666 gold, which would be, I guess, 5/6 of 2,000. I guess if you're buying from a shop and you try to give a weapon to someone who can't equip it, then the shopkeeper will tell you that they can't equip it. So that's one way to figure it out, but if you're picking it up from a treasure chest, you just have to manually test. Alright, Miaut got the Moon Crest. I think they have 3 apiece. I don't think I've seen Miaut go into his status menu a single time though, so I can't be sure what he's got. Miaut found Rubus's shrine, which is important later. That's where you need to go once you have all 5 crests. You'll awaken Rubus and she'll give you the charm that dispels the illusion on Hargon's castle.
And how many locations are there to find on the map in this game?
Quite a few, because there are a lot of shrines that just have Traveler's Gates in them that'll just warp you to another one. There are quite a few tunnels. This game's got a pretty high ratio, I guess, of like dungeons, shrines, and towers versus towns.
Yeah, in Dragon Warrior 1 it's about even, I think.
And I'd say in 3 and 4 it's pretty even too, but I think in this game it probably only has as many full towns as Dragon Warrior 1. Maybe a couple more. There are way more dungeons and stuff.
It's a nice message. Good looking. Hey, let's be careful out there.
Yeah, I like that message.
finding a revival spell, or getting a revival spell seems pretty useful. Although I'm sure that MP must be a problem.
Yeah, I think the revival spell costs like 15 or 20 in this game. But if you don't really care about your gold, then when you get wiped, it does revive all 3 of your characters in the randomizer version. Those Mace Masters, I believe, are from the very final group of random encounters in the final castle. See, I think Game Boy is also in the Road to Rome. There must be something in here, because I know earlier he popped into the cave that normally has the Eye of Malroth and just tried his flute and left. So maybe Miaut did find a crest in there, and that's why he threw away his own echoing flute. Which would mean that he would be looking for, I guess, one more crest, which is in the lighthouse tower. Okay, the flute did echo in Rune. I guess whether he found it or not, he would know that this was the last one. There were a couple of treasure chests in that town that Miaut didn't get, but they're not really worth it if you don't have step guard. So you gotta walk through all those damage tiles. With 3 people all taking damage, you have to heal them all. It's just really slow slog when you know there's nothing there that you need. Actually, he has step guard. Maybe he did get them, I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to see, like, what the spells they have in combat, really. I don't know if any of their healing spells are area spells or not. But if heal more or heal all, you're not gonna have a trouble on the final boss.
Oh, sorry about that. I just clicked on something I shouldn't have. Looks like Miaut is frozen for me. I don't know if that's the case for you.
Actually, it looks frozen for me too.
Okay.
I just hit pause and play and he popped back up. His has been freezing on and off for me too, but I don't know if it's because I've got like 3 streams going here or not. Got the main stream open too. And I know he's not freezing on the stream usually, so it's something on my end.
Wait, so he's freezing for both of us, right?
He's going for me now. I hit pause and play and it's working now.
Oh, okay.
Like,
How do I do that there? Let's see here. I don't think it's gonna work. I'm not sure how to pause and play in this. Let's try this.
my Game Boy's got a very significant experience lead right now. It's probably reaching the point where even the randomized encounters, the tough ones, aren't going to be an issue for him. I see him choosing to fight giants right now. Looks like enemy resistances are shuffled because he just put 2 giants to sleep.
I'm not sure how to... Okay. Oh.
There he's moving.
Yes. Now he's not moving. Okay, now he's moving. Good. Good, good. Alright.
He just killed one of the bosses basically with defeat. So I guess enemy resistances on bosses are shuffled too. It looks like Game Boy is making his way through Roan Cave, so he's probably got everything he needs. He's definitely confident in his experience because he's fighting really tough enemies here.
So are you thinking that he's nearing endgame here then?
Yeah,
That's pretty impressive
sure.
considering the 240 estimate.
yeah. I don't know if he's got the Star Crest yet, so he might still need to look for that tower, but he's probably going to go all the way through here and save, because this cave leads to the final area.
Right.
So he'll save there, go find the Star Crest and get the Rubus Charm, and then cast Return to come back here.
It sounds like there was a crest in this tower anyway. This is the
Yeah, in this
road.
cave. So there's only 3 of them that are randomized, so the third one was in here. They found the first 2 in, like, really early. They were in one of the first caves.
Game Boy just found the Sun Crest, so that's probably the last one he needed then.
Possibly, if he doesn't have the Star Crest, but that one's not randomized, so he'll know where it is. I didn't see if they picked it up or not. Okay, so apparently you don't need to throw away the mink coat to get another coat from the tree. Miaut is just picking up as many as he can carry. They sell for about 6,000 each, so this is a really good way to get gold.
What are the main uses of gold in this then?
You can just buy really expensive equipment with it. There isn't really anything that you need to buy. But with gold, like with the price of an item being based on how strong it is, you know how strong the weapon is if you're looking at it in a weapon shop. So he can just sell a bunch of these mink coats and buy the most expensive weapon he can see, and then he'll know that it's a good weapon. I think Game Boy actually cast outside, which I guess isn't too surprising, because the chest that had the life crest in it was down like a one-way road that leads back to the start of the cave. Yeah, I saw, I think, Miaut equip a bamboo pole on the Princess of Moonbrook, and it gave her a ton of attack power. It put her, like, over 100. That Armor of Erdrick is what he would want to buy, I think. Because anyone who can equip that, that's going to be good armor. Alright, in this game you can only sell to item shops. I play so much Dragon Warrior 4, I forget that you can't do that in Dragon Warriors 1 through 3. You only sell at item shops, not weapon or armor. So even though you've got this armor you want to sell, you have to go to the item shop to sell it. The Game Boy's still sailing around checking towers. I've only seen him sail around the outside of the world. I wonder if there are like no rivers that take him in the middle or something. Well, there he's getting inside a little bit. Miaut is still shopping. Oh, did Miaut not have the ship yet? He's just now fighting the baboons for the ship.
I never saw him get it.
I've seen him spend so much time in the later areas. I guess he was just going through the Traveler's Gates. I'm like completely lost when it comes to the overworld, so I'm not sure if like it was hard to find this town. It shouldn't be though.
Is the Wizard's Ring the one that restores MP?
Yeah, you can use it more than once, but there's like a 10% chance of it breaking every time you use it.
Right. But you can just buy them in the shop apparently in this seed.
Yeah. Actually, I think the only way to get them in Dragon Warrior 2 originally is as a rare drop from a late game enemy.
Yeah. That shop has both wizard rings and leaf of world trees. So.
Yeah. Which is nice since the actual world tree doesn't have the leaves. And I don't know if they have any revival magic.
I wouldn't be surprised if Game Boy does at this point, but Miaut doesn't.
Yeah.
Game Boy's got a pretty significant lead. I'm wondering if we might maybe call the race at some point so that you can get on with your run.
Yeah, I know we were a little behind starting the first one.
Yeah, that's my fault.
And it looks like there's going to be a gap between these two.
How do you feel about your estimate?
Honestly, if I think if we're behind going into it, there are some speed hacks I could turn on that I wasn't going to turn on.
Okay.
Like the Dragon Warrior 4 randomizer actually has a speed hack that increases your movement speed considerably. It's just got a lot of graphical glitches, so it looks kind of messy.
Okay.
Like you'll be walking and suddenly your party members won't be following you anymore, that kind of thing.
Would you prefer to not play with it on?
I'm kind of indifferent, but the seed Game Boy sent to me didn't have it turned on, so I was gonna leave it off.
Okay, so it would have to be.
Yeah. Well, I could generate another one. I actually generated another file because there's a glitch in the public version that I fixed on the local copy. It's open source, so I actually had to fix it. Is when you alter the encounter rate, like at nighttime, the encounter rate shoots way up because of a bug.
Shub is asking if you want to race. It's up to you.
I don't know. Would that mess up commentary? I'd have to not look at his screen probably.
Who's super?
If I were.
Oh yeah. We'd have to figure out the commentary thing. Like, I'm expecting Game Boy is going to be on commentary for the race regardless, or for your run regardless. So,
I guess if commentary and time aren't an issue, I don't really care.
it might be easier in a way. Then I don't have to worry about setting up the other scene right away.
Yeah, you could just reuse this one.
You can hear that someone is talking but can't make out any of it. So, can you hear me, Almacia?
Sounds like you were quieter than me on the restream. So you might be talking about you.
I'm surprised if that's the case now. I'm the super quiet one? Okay, I can turn my mic back up. Is this better now? Okay, well, hopefully that works. I don't want to mess with the settings too much. I suppose I can turn you down a little bit after turning you up earlier. but I don't know if you can make everyone happy all of the time.
I see Game Boy revisiting a lot of places looking for this tower, so he must be having trouble finding it. Miaut is still selling mink coats. I don't think the tower can be in Roan. I'm not sure if Roan is randomized at all, actually. Might be, but I know that, like, it's gonna be just containing the same areas it normally does.
I don't understand what Game Boy was doing there. Was he trying to die?
Possibly. Maybe if he lost a couple characters, then he's just dying so that it fully revives them all. Because normally in the game it only revives your lead character, but the randomizer revives everybody.
Okay.
But what he could have been doing instead of parrying is just using an item that has no effect. It's a slightly faster way to die in these games.
Maybe he's not sure which items have no effect. I haven't noticed them using items in battle too much.
Yeah, I saw him experimenting with some at the beginning, but I didn't even see any that actually had effects.
Miaut is stopping.
Miaut found the Alefgard Island. There's a different overworld theme for the area that has basically the same map as Dragon Warrior 1. It's a little smaller than in the normal game, or the original game, and there aren't quite as many towns there. But you can revisit like Tantagel, and there's a couple of shrines, and I think another town there. No, there's a castle. You can actually go into Charlotte Castle too, and go talk to the Dragon Lord's grandson, and he gives you advice if you agree to beat up Hargon for him. He didn't want the competition. It's basically like most of the hints that you get for what you need to do in this game is by talking to him, because he tells you that you need to go get these seals to wake up Rubus. This game's not nearly as good at pointing you around as Dragon Warrior 3 is. You basically get the ship and you're expected to just explore and find these things. A couple of NPCs point you toward things, but not everything. You're just supposed to find, oh, there's a tower here, there must be something important in it, so you go explore it.
I think we can let the two of you race if you want, and then we'll get Game Boy in here after he's done with this race and discuss what we want to do with.
All right. Now I'll have to send him the seed because He can't generate them himself.
Well, he sent it to you. You're gonna send it back to him.
Well, he sent it to me, but I generated one with the same seed because I've got a fixed version of the randomizer on my computer.
Ah,
His Game Boy hasn't gotten to patching one of the things that I had to fix myself.
huh.
I told him how to fix it, but you know, he's been busy helping organize this whole marathon, so I don't blame him for not having opened up an old project to put a patch in.
Yeah, Miaut, I can tell you a little bit what happened. Game Boy was ahead for most of the race, really. Although Miaut was finding items earlier, Game Boy had a lead on levels most of the time. Miaut did get into Charlotte Castle earlier, but then he died several times trying to get to the Dragon Lord or on the Dragon Lord fight. Like, his levels just weren't high enough. But Game Boy gambled. The last thing that he really needed was the Erdrick Sword, and it was in the last chest in the Grave of Garen. And Game Boy just left the Grave of Garen after he found the Erdrick's token there, because that was the last thing he needed. And then he went into the castle and tried to find the sword there, and eventually had to go back to the grave. And in the end, doing all of that just took too much time, and that gave Miaut the win.
And then in this race, I think Game Boy's got 4 of the 5 crests, but Miaut had a lot of trouble finding the ship, so he's quite a bit behind. Though Miaut knows where the 4th crest is, I just don't think he picked it up because it was pretty deep into the Roan Cave. But he'll have to go back there anyway to get to the final area. I suppose if Miaut finds the Star Crest, he could catch up, but Game Boy does have 8 levels on him, so that's going to be difficult. Antidote is another spell that's really obnoxious if you don't learn it. Oh, Game Boy just found the tower though, so he's gonna get the crest. That's pretty much the last thing he was looking for though.
Oh, I would have expected the ship to go under the bridge.
And bridges can actually block you from getting to some places in some of these games. I'd say at this point there's probably no reason for Game Boy to lose this, because he's going to get the last crest from this place, and I'm not positive that he's found Rubus's shrine, but I assume so. He just really went on world tour there, he probably found it at some point. But once he gets to the top of this tower and then climbs down a couple staircases, he'll find the Star's Crest. And that's going to be the last of the 5 crests you need to beat the game. Then he'll go get the Rubus Charm and walk all the way through Roan Cave. Then it'll just be the final dungeon. Yeah, all of your stats are randomized, so you can get really big gains on certain levels if you fall behind.
So does open work on any door in the game?
Yeah,
Okay.
so it basically replaces 3 different items that you would otherwise have to carry.
Yeah. So maybe Miaut's catching up a little, but I think his levels are far behind where Game Boys are.
Yeah. Oh, Miaut also is in the tower with the star crest. I haven't been paying very much attention again to like what their spells are and how effective they are, so the levels may or may not matter too much. Because again, if like one of them, if they have the heal all spell and it happens to target everybody in this seed, then he's pretty much not gonna have any trouble with the final bosses. Oh, Game Boy just got destroyed by something in this fight. I think somebody said healers have Explodent earlier. Oh yes, they do. He actually got wiped.
Be a little bit of an upset if Miaut makes it through this tower cleanly.
Yeah. He'd still have to get to the crest in the Roan Cave, but he probably knows where it is, because I don't think there are any other chests past the point that he got to other than the Thunder Sword chest where it's actually sitting.
I think Game Boy's a little busy at the moment there. He's bracing, not commentating.
Yeah, he's probably not looking at the chat because of spoilers. If you're playing this game though and you don't have, like if you don't throw away any of the key items, you can probably end up with like 10 different key items taking up your 18 inventory slots. Like the Cloak of Wind, 3 different keys, 4 actually, because there's a Watergate key, which I don't believe is in the randomizer, because it affects the world map, and so the world map generation takes it away. Then there's the Isle Malroth, the Charm of Rubis, and then each character probably has 3 or 4 things equipped too. Your inventory space gets very, very cluttered. So that's why I'm saying that open spell taking, like freeing up 3 slots of inventory space is pretty significant. You have more room to just hold on to weapons that you might want to try selling later.
So is this section of the encounter or the tower encounter free here? When you're
Not positive if it is or not. It might be though.
You,
you talk to this
boss
guy
now, I guess.
Yeah, he's gonna lead him into a little trap, and then you have to fight 4 gremlins, but it's gonna be a randomized encounter. It's actually a really easy encounter by the time you get here, normally. Because it's the same enemies. Yeah, it's the same enemies that you fight for the ship when you're playing the normal game. So, like, in this tower, it has much tougher enemies than that, so it's kind of strange that they picked those enemies for this. And it is actually magic baboons again. For some reason, my video player has gotten behind the actual stream. I don't know how that is possible. I'll restart that. The outstream has been having some issues for me the whole time, though.
Yeah. So Miaut's done, it seems.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm not actually sure if he got the one from the Cave to Roan, but he knows right where it is.
Right. But he's seemingly got a bit of a lead on items now.
A little bit, because like Game Boy knows where the Star Crest is, and Miaut knows where the other crest is. I'm not sure which one he's missing. So they do both need to pick them up, and then they'll be in the same spot. I'm not sure why Game Boy's not back in the tower by now. Maybe he forgot where it is. That would be unfortunate, because he spent a very long time looking for it. Yeah, Game Boy appears to be lost, actually. Oh, Sea Slugs have the defeat spell, which has a chance to instantly kill each one of his party members. Why is Miaut buying the Jailer's Key if he has the open spell? It should be what that empty slot is, unless it's randomized.
I am not sure. It seemed like he bought 2 of them.
Maybe it is something random then. That's kind of a sneaky thing though in this game, is to get the 3rd key, which is the Jailer's Key to open cell doors. You talk to that merchant and he's got an empty slot in his item list that you can select, and then he just tells you, oh, you heard that I'm selling this. Doesn't really tell you the price, but it's 2,000 gold to buy the key. Looks like Miaut is on his way to the Cave de Rhone again. Maybe, no, he left town. I don't think that, or rather I think that, like, when the randomized map happens, that it still keeps the Cave de Rhone behind that town. He's getting killed by Atlas. It's a random Dragon Warrior 2 note, but similar to how in Dragon Warrior 4 your overworld music changes when you pick up your last party member, that actually happens in Dragon Warrior 2 as well. And whenever somebody's dead, it goes back to the original overworld music. Ah, Game Boy found the Starcrest Tower again.
Hopefully this time he makes it through.
Yeah. Oh, maybe Meowth's actually going to the Rubis Shrine if he already has that other crest. I was those are really the only two things he could be doing right now. Is if he doesn't have the crest, he needs to go pick it up from the Roan Cave. Oh, that's where the Roan Cave is. Okay, so I guess I was wrong about it always being in the back of Baron. Okay, so he'll need to go through this cave and pick up, like, he needs to navigate all the way to the Sword of Thunder chest, which is going to have the last crest in it. And then he'll probably go all the way through here for the last return point, maybe? Or he might just go get the Rubus Charm and then walk through the cave again. That chest is in an unfortunate spot, though, because, like I said, you have to drop down a hole to get to it, and then when you drop down the hole after it, you end up back at the start of the cave.
Oh, Game Boy got wiped again.
Oh, yeah, those big slugs are horrible.
I'm sure Countess can just send it through Discord. That's pretty easy to do. Just has to
Yeah, I can do that.
click on your name. Can you guys hear those dings on stream? Yes, you can, apparently. Okay. Wonder... Tell me, I'm gonna try something. Tell me if this fixes it. Well... Can you still hear everything else? Can you still hear the game? And I'm sure you can still hear Countess.
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a separate audio source for sure. Okay. Alright, well, I'll wait for the next thing to see if it goes away. Alright.
Hopefully Game Boy remembers where the tower is this time. If not, Miaut might pull ahead.
Yeah, it looks like Game Boy is remembered now. Third time is making it a little easier.
Ah, there he is. Yep. So I guess except for the experience gap, they're kind of close right now. Let's see what the experience gap currently is. I think they're... Let's see. Miaut's hero is 19. Game Boy's having like the best encounter luck ever. Something that's always bugged me about this game is that you pick up these party members in a certain order, and whenever you do, they join at level 1, but the characters you get later grow slower, so they never actually catch up in levels.
Do they grow slower, or they just grow at the same rate as you and you're already ahead of them?
They're a lot slower. Like, the Princess of Moonbrook takes like 100 experience to hit level 2, and that's way slower than the other two characters. Though Moonbrook actually gets quite a bit of HP, so like, when you're at the end of the game, even though your levels are different, their HP values are all pretty comparable. The hero has quite a bit more, but that's because he doesn't cast spells, so he's got a lot more strength to compromise.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably compensated for the difference in levels that they expect you to have.
yeah, Game Boy's hero is 25. Yeah, all the characters max out at experience at I think 1,000,000 points, and at that point the hero is 50. I think Cannock is 45 or 40, and Moonbrook is 35. Looks like Miaut is not going for the Sword of Thunder chest. I think there might be other treasure chests on this floor. And the Sword of Thunder chest, if you can avoid going to it, would be nice. Because, again, it takes you to the start of the dungeon. You could just turn around and go to the final area if you found it up here. I only walked up there to that staircase. That's kind of strange. Because there are a bunch of pits on that floor that he was on upstairs, and they just take you to this room, so I'm not sure why he went down that staircase. Unless he's not familiar with the layout of the dungeon, and he's just looking at a map, and the map told him to take the staircase.
It's possible. I really don't know. Oh, Miaut got the Sun Crest now. Is that probably the last one he needed?
Yep, should be.
Oh, and I think we saw Game Boy get that before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the third of the crests that are randomized. And Miaut has decided to cast outside.
Did he have any other option there? It looked like a dead end.
There's a pit somewhere in that room that he cast outside, but it just takes him to the first room of the dungeon. So there's not much benefit to staying in there. Because they do have to go to a shrine to get the Rubus Charm now anyway.
Right.
But if you didn't have to go to that specific treasure chest, then it'd be better just to go all the way through the cave, because there's another return point at the end.
Okay. Oh, did Game Boy get the last,
Yeah, he got all the way to the Star Crest.
crest too? So they're both pretty similar in terms of position here, both looking for that same shrine again.
They're pretty much just separated by experience at this point. So it'll depend whether or not Game Boy actually needs that experience point lead. But I don't think he will, the way he's mowing down these mini-bosses.
Right. But it could be less a matter of need than, you know,
Yeah.
just helping him to get through the end game more quickly.
Yeah, he won't have as much trouble with random encounters. But this game does have a limitation where enemies can't have more than 255 on any of their stats, including HP, so there is a limit to how tough they can be.
Looks like Miaut's found it.
Yep. I would guess that Game Boy knows where it is, but we'll find out in a minute, I guess.
So, even though it seemed like Game Boy had a significant lead for most of this race, why is Miaut talking to this guy again?
Oh, his inventory was full.
Oh, funny. Yeah.
That actually happened to Evil Ash in a speedrun of Dragon Warrior 2 recently. He came down here and his inventory was full and he didn't realize it, so he got all the way to the final dungeon and didn't have the item.
Oh my goodness. Alright, so Miaut heads to the final dungeon first, and we'll find out if he's got the levels to do it. This is looking similar to the last race in a lot of respects. Miaut gets all of the required things first, but doesn't have the levels that Game Boy does.
Yeah, the difference, I guess, is that Miaut struggled to get the ship and Game Boy struggled to find the Star Crest, so Game Boy was like in a better position to get experience when he was searching for his thing because it was later in the game. Looks like Game Boy might actually not know where the Shrine of Rubus is.
Oh, I thought that was it right there.
Oh, that's the back of Baron, it looks like.
Apparently, Game Boy's knowledge of the way that the map generation works isn't giving him an edge here.
Yeah. Well, this map is, I believe, like 4 times the size of Dragon Warrior 1's map. There's definitely a lot of stuff that you have to remember where it is, and the layout of the map may not be familiar even though you've been looking at it the whole time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that, I think for this game, that Game Boy had decided to shrink the,
Yeah, I think there are settings for that. I think that's why the map is surrounded by mountains, because you can generate a smaller map if you want.
okay, yeah.
Because normally in the game, the map loops around if you sail to the edge of the world.
Huh. So not having that looping effect might be a bit of a hindrance.
Yeah. And Miaut made it to Rome. He is definitively in the lead right now.
So how much does he have to do in Rome here?
Pretty much just walk to Hargon's castle and go through it. There's a couple of floors to the castle, but it's a pretty short dungeon. There's just like mini bosses. 2 floors of encounters and then like 3 mini bosses, then the last 2 bosses. Essentially 5 bosses in a row.
So it's almost entirely of whether he's prepared to
Yeah.
fight the final gauntlet here.
So when you walk into his castle, it looks like the very starting castle, and you talk to everybody and they're like congratulating you for doing a good job or something, but then you figure out that it's an illusion and you gotta use the Trema Rubus to dispel it. Then suddenly it's turns all evil and junk.
Oh, maybe Miaut picked up the key so that he could save himself. MP here.
That could be. I'm not sure what the open spell costs. I think it's free in Dragon Warrior 3, but it might have a cost in this one. 'Cause it's such a high level you don't ever get it. There's actually an open spell in Dragon Warrior 4 as well, but no characters ever learn it. I'm not sure if Game Boy has put it in the randomizer or not, but that'd be kind of neat to add in.
Huh.
Like you can get it with Game Boy or Game Genie codes, but it's not actually learned.
That's an interesting thing to use to leave in the unused part of the game code.
Yeah. He actually made it through both floors of encounters without finding any.
Well, now he's got one. Doesn't look like an easy one.
Yeah, but this is a boss fight.
Oh, okay.
So there are going to be 3 forced encounters before he talks to Hargon.
That was a lot of damage.
Game Boy found out earlier that you can actually cast Defeat on these guys, but I don't think Miaut knows that because he's not trying it.
Well, they defeated him. It looks pretty rough. I'm not sure what he should do here. Is he gonna try to level right here? Looks like he's maybe looking for an encounter. Perhaps. I don't know. He's... okay. Yep. I think that's what's gonna happen here.
Yeah, there really isn't that much sequence breaking you could do in Dragon Warriors 2 or 3 if you had the open spell. But I guess you could skip an area or two if you had the final key in Dragon Warrior 4. But really, if you want to grind your characters up to like level 35 before you fight a boss that you can beat at level 20, I think you can just go ahead and skip stuff. Still not as big of a sequence break as the Famicom version when you can just sail to the corner of the map and there's an invisible balloon sitting there.
Alright, attempt number 2. He's got defeat. Let's see if he uses it. Trying some items.
Atlas's normal behavior is to always do a double attack, and he'll pick one character at the start of the fight and attack it until it dies. But I don't know how much the randomization affects his pattern.
And he's dead again.
Yeah. It looks like they don't have any skills on them, so they're just going to do the normal behavior. He's thinking about grinding, but he's not committing to it.
I'm guessing he'll fight anything that...
Yeah, if he runs
encounter
into
he gets
something.
into.
What's that? Oh. There's a can sitting on my phone. It made a lot of noise when it vibrated.
Why, why didn't Miaut have to cast Step Guard there?
You might have cast it early. Unless the randomizer affects how it works. Because you, normally in Dragon Warrior 2, every time you step off a damage tile, then you have to cast it again. I think the randomizer might actually do something to change that, though. But I know if you cast it early, like, even if he casts it right after he dies, or if he casts it now, it'll even be lasting if he dies and then walks onto a damage tile again. It won't wear off till he leaves it.
Yeah, it looks like he's looking for a random encounter here.
You can't find him on this floor.
Yeah.
The first 2 floors should have random encounters, but once you get on this floor, there aren't any more.
Here he's trying defeat. Defeat did not work.
It's unfortunate, because he probably assumed that it can't work.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Game Boy's beating some Atlases over on his side.
Yeah. I guess that tells us he's not going to have trouble with him.
I haven't noticed any metal babbles. I don't even know if we've seen a metal slime this.
I think I saw metal slimes at some point, but I don't know. I've definitely not seen a metal babble. Metal slimes really aren't worth that much in the normal game, though the randomizer might buff them up a little.
the experience targets are greatly reduced here, I think, so...
Yeah. Like in the normal game, a Metal Babble's worth 2,000 experience, but it's like really not worth fighting because they've got 35 HP for starters. So if you don't have enough attack power to just kill them, then it's just going to take you forever. You'll need a critical hit to kill them. They also cast Firebane on you. Metal Slimes actually have the sleep spell. Game Boy made it to Roan, so he'll probably be done pretty soon. Miaut is having a lot of trouble grinding. He can't seem to run into any encounters. I wonder if this randomizer reduces the encounter rate. There have been a couple of times where I've been watching them and they just don't seem to be getting into enough or as many encounters as they should.
Yeah, I think I recall Game Boy saying something about a reduced encounter rate.
Ah. It's normally very nice, but if you're trying to grind on normal enemies, then it can be annoying.
Yeah. Maybe Game Boy took that factor into consideration and killed a lot more enemies that Miaut just ran away from.
Yeah. Before Miaut got the ship, he was still like 10 levels behind against Game Boy, so I think that Miaut wasn't trying to fight the tougher enemies that he was finding when he was going through Traveler's Gates.
Not sure what Miaut's up to right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Might be trying to backtrack somewhere to buy armor, maybe, but I don't know how much gold he has. I guess his inventory is still full of mink coats, so he could sell all those and buy some armor. I guess that's not too bad of an idea. Because that's really all he needs to beat Atlas's defense power, and I don't know how much leveling's going to help with that unless he gets a ton of HP. I also don't think that they have, or, well, he doesn't have the heal all spell. Just saw it on Game Boy's screen though, but he's a bit higher.
Yeah.
Like the usual strategy for Atlas, since like I said, he usually picks a target at the start of the fight and just attacks it repeatedly till it dies, so you can just have that character parry and then heal it, and then the third character does damage. But with two Atlases, then I don't really know what you're gonna do. Because if they both pick the same target, there's no way you're gonna survive. And if they don't pick the same target, then you can't heal them both. I think buying defense power would probably just be the best idea. Though now Miaut is going back forward through the cave.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. It's quite possibly a moot point at this stage.
Oh, is there a treasure chest in here he didn't get, maybe? Now he's going off the path. He walks in circles a lot, so I'm not sure that he's really sure what he's doing. There's two treasure chests. He might just be looking for fights and just wandering around aimlessly while he tries to find enemies. Okay. Game Boy is about to fight Atlas. Miaut got a level that only gave him 3 HP on a character. That is not helpful.
Excuse me.
My Game Boy's going right for the defeat spell, and he killed both of them with it. It's very unfortunate that Atlas resisted it when Miaut tried it, because now he thinks that he's immune to it. If he knew that it worked, then he would just have continued trying to fight him over and over until defeat killed them both.
Right. Is this the second forced encounter?
Yeah. Zuzu and 2 blizzards, that's not too bad. Zuzu can be kind of a pain on the original game, but he is actually susceptible to sleep, so you can just put him to sleep. But if you don't do that, he actually has the defeat spell, and when he gets low on HP, he can cast Sacrifice, which will just instantly kill your whole team. Not really sure why they thought that was a good idea, but there you go. But they also gave Sacrifice to random encounters outside of the final dungeon.
Oh, he just gets defeat on the Zarloks too, huh?
I don't think I had noticed anyone encounter a Zarlox or a Zuzu earlier, so I don't know if he knew that it was vulnerable to that, but I guess it's still worth a shot.
Maybe he does. Doesn't hurt to waste one turn on it, I guess.
Yeah. Alright, so now he's gonna fight Hargun and then Malroth, but I don't imagine with this much max HP he's gonna have trouble with it. This Prince of Cannock actually has a ton of defense power too. Hargun and 2 Magic Vampirus. I don't know if Hargun or Malroth have any randomization to their stats or spell loadouts. Malroth probably does not, if I had to guess. But I base that guess just on that Dragon Warrior 1 and 4 randomizers don't have any randomization to their final bosses. Hargun seems to have the same spells he normally has. For some reason they thought it was a good idea to give him Heal All. He's only got 255, or actually Hargun has less than that. He's like 200 HP, but he'll cast Heal All if he's missing any. That'll take him all the way to full. So he's basically just gonna attack until Hargun goes 2 turns without casting Heal All. Or actually he got wiped by Explodite. Wow. That was a very unfortunate fight.
At least Miaut just learned the revive spell.
Yeah. I wonder if the randomizer does anything to make that a better spell. Because in the base game that only revives you with 1 HP, and it's really not useful during battles because of that. Because if you revive somebody and then the enemy uses an area attack, they're just instantly going to die again. But I wouldn't be surprised if the randomizer gives you full HP.
Yeah, Miaut's been behind on experience most of the run here.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, he was having trouble finding the ship, so what he was doing instead was going through the Traveler's Gates and the Flame Shrine. But if you jump past the ship, you find enemies from any point in the game, not just the weaker enemies early on. So it's harder to kill things for experience and get a foothold where you can prepare yourself for the tougher enemies. So Game Boy shouldn't have to refight those mini bosses. They should say stay dead until you turn the console power off and back on.
He's just running into some Atlases randomly here instead.
He's not even running from them. He's not afraid. Oh, you can sleep them and defeat them. And Miaut probably just had bad luck the first time he tried casting status spells on him. One thing you can do in these NES games when you're grinding for enemies in a cave is if you walk between one room and another, there actually is a 4 times chance of finding an encounter, so it's better than just walking around like Miaut is doing. Even though you have to wait for the room to load and unload, it still works out to be faster than taking 4 steps. It's funny because that's one of those things when you're a kid, you're kind of paranoid about that. You feel like the game's just giving you bad luck when you're walking into a new room and you instantly find an encounter, but then in that case it actually is programmed to give you a higher encounter chance in that first step. Looks like Miaut has heal all now. Might have been what he was waiting on. Cast outside in return, so he's probably going to try it again. And Game Boy's back at Hargon. He's casting Stop Spell on Hargon, that's a good idea.
Uh-oh, has Game Boy's stream frozen now? For me, it's not frozen for you.
No, it is frozen on the stream, yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Well, spoiler, he beat Hargon.
Oh my goodness, this is a terrible time for it to freeze. I wish... I don't know what I can do to fix it.
Morath I don't think is randomized, so it looks like he's just taking it kind of standard, casting defense on him to lower his defense, because I think he's got maximum defense.
Wait a second, I know what I can do. Oh, alright, it fixed itself. I think.
Alright.
Wait a second. No, it's not right.
Something obnoxious about Morath is that he overlaps your heads-up display there, so you can't actually see the hundreds digit of Moonbrook's HP. Looks like he won it. Alright. Fixed itself in time for the last hit. Now we'll see if Miaut can beat Atlas. He's back at the mini-boss now that he has heal all.
When I've got the...
Looks like Miaut's strategy is to cast Increase, but the Increase spell in this game is really weak. Oh, and they both hit Moonbrook.
Okay. I made some changes. And I think it seems to be running smoothly now.
And Game Boy just needs to find his way back to the first town, and then he's done.
Really unfortunate that the feed froze up in the final 2 bosses there.
Yeah. Game Boy made pretty short work of him, though. His stats were pretty high. Hello?
Ugh.
Hey, Game Boy.
Hey,
Congrats on your win.
thank you.
Yeah. Seemed to go pretty well, other than getting lost looking for that tower again.
Oh my god. That took friggin' forever to find that thing.
Yeah.
And then you had to refind it.
Yeah, I had to re-find it, and then I had to find it a third time, thanks to the healers.
Yeah.
And the big slugs. Don't forget the big slugs.
Yeah. But this race was actually really similar to the last one in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Because you had a big lead with the levels on this one again, but Miaut did end up finding everything first, and he was in the final dungeon first.
Yeah.
Oh.
Unfortunately, he didn't notice that defeat works on Atlas, and when he tried it, it failed, so he's having a lot of trouble fighting him right now.
Oh. Yeah, he's trying to defeat Surround, but... Well, he got Surround working on that.
Yeah. Looked like you used sleep and defeat.
Oh yes, I did use Sleep as well. Sleep was pretty much guaranteed, and he's not making it either.
Yeah. I don't know if he tried sleep, but he definitely tried defeat one time, and it failed on both of them, so he, I think, assumed that he's immune to it and just gave up on it.
Yeah, defeat. Well, yeah, yeah, it was a combination of defeat and sleep. Oh my, he's been up for a really long time.
Sounds like me yesterday. I had to do my DQ4 PS1 run on about an hour of sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, it sounds like we should start moving towards the next run. It sounds like we should start Game Boy towards the next run. I think that the Kaunis and Schubinator are gonna race.
Is that right, Calnus?
Yeah, I'm alright with
Right?
it. I sent him the seed already.
Yeah, the issue just the commentary. I'm wondering what you think we should do. The commentary. I'm wondering what you think we should do.
I think we should just let Calnus and Schubinator just commentate that. Just because I won't be able to do it, so...
Oh, you're not going to be able to do?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to...
Oh, you're not going to be able to do
much of that.
That can work for me. We won't look at each other's screens, I guess.
Oh, is there an echo now? You must have turned on the... Oh, is there an echo now? You must have volume on your end or something. The volume on your end or something. Oh, no, it's on Miaut's end. Never mind.
Yeah, he jumped into the call.
Okay, I just muted my my sound.
I think I fixed it, guys. Let me know if it's not fixed. The echo. Sorry. Yeah, that was a good race, Miaut. Game Boy had a little trouble finding things in the end, so you actually passed him up and found everything before he did, and you were in the final dungeon first, but your levels were way behind the whole time, and Game Boy was using defeat on those Atlases earlier.
I didn't know that Atlas was vulnerable to defeat, so I would have used it a lot more.
Yeah, we saw you try it once, but it failed, so you just gave up on it.
Yeah, my first defeat attempt was defeat was a success. So
yeah.
Did you also have a really hard time finding the lighthouse
yes, I
tower?
did. Yes,
Oh my god, that was in an island.
that was it was just tucked behind there. Like I feel like that just ranked there up there with some of the worst maps of DW1. Where it took me forever to find something. Actually, it might have been even worse because I had to find it again and again. And oh, well, by the way, the healer killed me in the lighthouse with exploded. and big slugs. There were like 3 big slugs, and all 3 of them cast exploded. GG.
Yeah, that was a really, really hard seed.
Yeah.
And it was 25% encounter rate and 33% EXP requirements, and it still took this long.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I thought this was, well, if I had found the lighthouse, I was like, oh, I could finish this in 90 minutes or whatever. But
Yeah, the lighthouse could have shaved off over a half an hour.
yeah. The lighthouse usually is the worst of it. So, yeah. But everybody sees the fun police um, on Miaut's screen.
Yeah.
He lived up to his name today.
All right, then I'm heading off. Good races. Was really fun.
Yeah, it was.
And
Congrats
yeah,
on winning your first race. So we didn't get much of a chance to talk about the first one, but
yeah. I was more looking forward to Dragon Warrior 2 because it's not that known.
right.
Dragon
Yeah.
Warrior DWR is known by a lot, but
Yeah.
this one's pretty new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we'll surely run more of those seeds for sure.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Oh, you should plug your Dragon Warrior 1 rando tournament too, since we're doing Dragon Warrior
Oh
randomizer.
yeah, that's right. We do have a Dragon Warrior 1 tournament. It's not going to start until August, but if I can find it. There it is.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be in that one too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be so much fun to do that.
All right, everyone. I'm gonna go to sleep.
All
I'll
right.
see you guys later.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go as well. So thanks for the comment. Thanks for commentating, Jay Cooper and Countess, and
No problem.
have fun with DW4.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Mm-hmm.